Okay, guys. Let's start from the scratch. Okay. So database. So what is database? So first of all, before discussing about the database, so first of all, what is data? The collection of figures and facts. So what is figures means either the representational view of data or the is called the figures, and facts is nothing but of so what is called, what is, yeah, so derived data are the data which is presentable. So this was the combination of figures and facts. So everything is a data, right? Either it was in a uh, picture format, or it was a audio format, or it was a video format, or it was a documented format. So everything is a data. So it's a collection of figures and facts is called as data. So this was the definition for the data. Okay. Then what is database? So database is nothing but of it's a container. As I said in the last class, it's a container. So where which allows the data to store in that area. Okay, it's just a container. It was a electronical tool, software tool. It is an electronical. Sorry, it was a software application which allows data to get stored inside of them. Okay, it gives the protection for the data, and it allocates the memory area for storing of that data. So it was the database. It's a definition of database. It is a software application which is allowing data to get stored in that area. So it was a database. Then what is database management system? Okay, so there is some data and there is a database. So the data will store inside a database, right? So the way of storing, the proper the procedural and proper management of storing of data is called database management system. So why the data has to be stored in a stored in a proper format or managed in the proper format means, so for example, so this is an organization. Okay, so you come here to learn, and we are here to, okay. So there is some vacuum in between you and us, because which type of vacuum means, so the person, okay, so please keep your mic mute, sir. So it was somewhat disturbing me. So Sai wait, wait. Okay. Okay, so you came here to learn. I came here to teach. Okay, but what was the management is doing? So what the management has to provide us? It should provide as a classroom, it should provide as a timetable, and it should provide as a curriculum for way of for completion of this course and all. Okay, so if the management is efficient, so definitely so they will arrange the class based on your strength. Okay, so if you are 100 of people, if you are 100 of people, so if they allocated your room which is sufficient only for 50 members, is it good for to is it comfortable for you to learn? It is not at all comfortable for you. Okay, so otherwise if in every day the class are in a different time zones. So one day it was from morning 9 to 10, other day it was evening 5 to 6 and all. Okay, it means the proper timetable is not get prepared. Will you Are you comfortable with that thing? You are not comfortable with it, because uneven timetable and all, because of the uneven timetable level you are so mentally you will get distracted towards the other things. Okay, so you won't show that type of interest to attend for the class. Okay, so in order to make you comfortable, in order to so make you more keep your more interest on the class, so they need to properly arrange the class and all. So in the same format, why this how this database management system will work means, so it will make the data to enter inside a database in a procedural format. That means, so to enter into the data and to retrieve from the data. Okay, so it is properly managed. So for the uh, either for entering of data or for exiting of the data, so the properly management system will work for the proper execution of database. So why the database management system is required for any database? Why means, because so we will there is a chance. Okay, the major purpose of database is it should receive the new data all the time, and whatever the data it was receiving, so it should be revoked whenever the user is requesting it to revoke, or a of asking to return. Okay, so whenever user is asking, it should return, right? It should return the data what is the user is asking. So how it should return? The correct and accurate data has to be written. If the user is asking about so a file of data, you should written only a file of data. If the user is asking about z file of data, you should written the data which is of related to z file. Okay, so that means the proper and correct data has to be retrieved within a less time zone, within less time zone. Okay, it should be fast and it should be efficient and should be accurate. Fast, efficient and accurate. So what is difference between these three things? Fast, efficient and accurate. Fast means within no time. Okay, no time. So whenever the user is asking some information from the application, it should be within fraction of seconds, fraction of milliseconds. The data has to be appeared on his screen. It is fast. So accurate. Accurate means perfect, nothing but of correct data. Whatever the user is asking, you should get the correct data. If the user is asking about something about cars, it should return about data regarding the cars. If the user is asking something regarding fashion, it should return the data regarding the fashion and all. So accurate data and fast, accurate, and one more thing I said, fast, accurate, and accuracy. Efficient. So what is efficient means? Okay, efficient means so pinpointed data. Fast, accurate, and efficient. So accurate means correct data. Efficient means so the pinpointed data. If I okay, so if I have asked about Toyota cars. So the accurate, what the accurate means, it should return the data related to the cars. So what accuracy means, or nothing but of accuracy. Sorry, I was efficient. What is efficient means, so what was the request from the user? It should be the pinpoint thing. Okay, so that means so the perfect result what the user is expecting has to be retrieved from the database. So for making all these operations, a efficient database management system is required for any database. Clear? So in this management systems, there are two types of management systems. One is database management system, another is relational database management system. Okay, so database management system will work efficiently. So but there is one problem with the database management system when compared with the relational database management system. What is that problem means? So the database system, yeah, so the database management system is somewhat slower when compared with the relational database management system. So why it was somewhat slower means, it's not only somewhat slower, it is it cannot perform many things in an accurate way. It can present the bundle of data which is related to the which is of same relational data. Okay, for example, if you ask about the Toyota car, it may provide all the data regarding all type of cars, I mean all type of cars. Okay, so accuracy may miss, accuracy and efficiency may get missed in the DBMS. Why? Because it cannot handle the data in a large quantities. Only small kind of data can be handled by the database. Not handled. It is suggestible for to handle small kind of data. Why? Because as I said, so how the DBMS will manage means, so how the CD container will store the data inside a, okay, how the CD container will store the CDs, okay, in a proper order way, in order way. So it is somewhat not suggestible for handling of a large quantity of data. Okay, so to rectify these things, so there is one more type of management system is there, which is relational database management system. So what is the main difference between the database management system and relational database management system is, so database management system stores the data in a format of files. Okay, but whereas coming to the relational database management system, it stores the data which is in a format in the format of tables. So what is table means? It is the combination of rows and columns. So why tables are more efficient than files means? So in the last class we have already discussed about one example regarding the marks in a college, in our semi nothing but of our semester mark list. Okay, so there nearly n number of people marks were being presented on the marks board, right? So if they presented if they present marks on the format of either in a what we call, so definition format or a file format means, definitely it is not that suitably comfortable for the students to get their marks. Okay, so because we need to search our own file and we need to so take all the data noted. But when compared with that file format, so if the data is presented in the tabular format means, so within less area we can present large quantity of data, right? So that was the main difference between the file format presentation and the tabular format presentation. So tabular format of presentation of data is somewhat taking less area. So whenever we are dealing with the whenever we are discussing that same thing in a database, deep database means it will directly relate to the memory area. Okay, if it was a physical thing, we speak about space. If it was a database thing, nothing but of which is related to software application, we should deal with memory allocation. Okay, so the allocated memory also will be less when compared to the file format of data. Okay, about the tables and all. So tables are more efficient than the file formats, because within less storage area or within the less space we can present more number of data. And the pinning or nothing but of pointing of data is also easy when compared to the file format. So for these things, so the relational database management system is so more efficient and so more user friendly for the users when compared with the DBMS. So one more advantage that RDBMS is having a relation. So what is the relation means? We can create a relation between n number of tables. Okay. So this is also example we have discussed in the very first class. Okay. If I wanted to give you a task for you people for who have attended for today's class, that means I should have three tables. One table is having the information regarding people who are in the class. Another table is having the data regarding who have attended for today's class, and another table is having so data regarding today's task I wanted to give for you. Okay, so can I give the task for all the people who have what is called registered for this class? No, no. Okay, because so some of the people may come attend the class, or some of the people may not attend for the classes. But okay, just 1 second. Yeah, it's going on. Okay, some of the people may attend for the class, and some of the people may not attend the class. But I should give only the task only to the people who have attended for the class. For that thing, so I will create a relation between the first table to second table. That means so entire strength of the classroom people, or entire strength of the student table to the strength of the table who have attended for today's class. I will create a relationship. So among those entire people who have attended for today's class, so I will get a data. I will nothing but of I will pin a data based on this relationship. Okay, if I wanted to execute the third file, so I want these two tables relation. Okay, if I relate this these two tables with the third table means so definitely that my requirement will satisfy, right? Okay, the people who have attended okay, out of all the students who have attended for today's class will get the task received. Am I right? So in this format, it's just an example. In this format, the exact pinpointing of data is possible with the relational database management system. Clear about this part? Okay, so there are some more advantages with the relational database management system, which is it is more efficient with the HTML and CSS element. So what is HTML and CSS elements? So what is HTML and CSS elements means? They are the so user interface. Okay, so using of HTML CSS we can create the user interface and nothing but of a page which is directly interacting with the users, right? So whatever the screen we are seeing, so it is having some HTML elements for a application. So what is HTML element means? They are the directly interactable elements with the user. So they will receive the input from the users, so they offer the outputs, so they make something customizations with the users. They will directly interact with the people. So for example, a search bar is also is also HTML element, right? So in a search bar, in an application like an Amazon or Flipkart, in a search bar, so if you type something like so I need Crocs, you need so I need Crocs means so you if you simply type the Crocs and you will simply press the search button, then so the data has to be come from the database, because every data is stored in the database itself. It will come from the database. So how it will come means so it will the server will execute the coding to retrieve the same data which is asked by the user, which is nothing but of same data or relevant data. Okay, so user needed a Crocs, so it should extract only the data related to the Crocs. Okay, if it extracted something other than Crocs means is the user is what is called is the user is happy with that thing, with that application? No, right? So if the application is providing whatever we are needed, then only we will go with that application and we will deal that with that application. Otherwise we won't at all use that application. Okay, so for that thing, for making so perfect and accurate server responses also, this RDBMS is helpful. Okay, so we have discussed about the what is server and all in the last class. Server is nothing but a which is directly connected to the database from the model through the model part in a framework. Okay, clear? So this is what about the RDBMS. Okay, so then this is what we have discussed in the last two classes. So are you clear about up to this part? Are you clear? Okay, then so from now, so we'll discuss about the the properties of RDBMS. So just 1 second, guys. So I will set the arrangement for today's class notes. So have you received the yesterday's class notes? Okay, in Google Class. Okay, I have uploaded in the last class. So today 29 3 2024. So online students, are you clear about this up to this part of class? So please respond. Yes. So today's topic is about the properties of database. So what is the properties of database? So what database? So data, which kind of properties does a database needed? Okay. So in general we speak about. So for example, we use a memory card, right? We buy our memory card or a nothing but of a pen drive. So we are not using memory card nowadays. So it is a pen drive or a hard disk. So what is the main thing we see in the buying of a pen drive or a hard disk? It should be storage capacity. Okay, it is not so it is not a property, it is a feature. Storage is a feature. Okay, it's a feature. We are not discussing about features. We are discussing about properties. Okay, so nothing but of qualities. Okay, so first thing is, so it should work properly. Okay, whenever we are in chipping in the data, we should enter the data. Whenever we are chipping out in the sense deleting, whenever we are deleting the data, it should respond according to our action. Nothing but of it should respond to our action whenever we are so what is called entering of data, burning up. Okay, so chipping in the data. So it should add the data into the memory, into the hard disk or a pen drive. Whenever we are clearing the data, it should delete all the files and provide as the available storage space. Okay, so whenever we are entering the data, it should fill the data, and it should retrieve the remaining storage area or available memory. We call it as available memory. Okay, whenever we have deleted all the already existed data, okay, that means, so if the existing data is deleted means, so the storage, the memory space will be allocated free, right? And that memory, that free memory has to be so offered for availability data. But this has to be done properly. If it is not done, if it was not done properly, is it useful for us? No, right? So this is one of the property. So second property is, okay, it should maintain the data in a systematic order, one by one order. Okay, so the first enter data has to be in the first format, and second enter data is in the so next format, in the same in the format of a proper alignment or arrangement of data has to be done, right? Okay, for example, if there is a pen drive, so we are chipping in the movies. We have entered movie number 1, movie number 2, movie number 3, and movie number 4. Okay, so it will be allocated based on the our okay, based on the algorithm of that storing device. Okay, but means whenever you are providing some sequential order, means it should be arranged on the sequential order. Okay, I think means some unique arrangement has to be done. Okay, it is not a separate thing. It was a basic necessary for anything. It was basic necessary, right? So it is also one of the property, because of proper alignment of data which is chipping in it in the memory devices. What is the third one? So it has to respond to the user actions. Whenever we are asking to retrieve some kind of data, you should retrieve the same data. Okay, whenever we are asking delete some kind of data, you should delete the same data. Other than that, okay, you should not behave abnormal. You should behave normally for all the user actions. Okay, that means it should be responsive for the user actions. So it is also it is also necessary property, right? So for example, you have chipped in the four movies, movie number one, movie number two, movie number three, and movie number four. So you don't want, you have already watched movie number three, you don't want movie number three on your storing device. So you are allowed to, you have made a comment to the storing device. So delete the movie number three. You should definitely delete only that movie number three. You should not delete another any other movie, right? Okay. So in that format, it should it should provide a proper responses for all the user actions. Okay, it is also one of property. And if any damage happen to that device, data storing device, okay, it should provide some facility to retrieve all the stored data, right? Either it may be a physical damage or it may be a some malware attack and all. It should have its own firewall to safeguard our data, nothing but of to provide backup of our data. It is also one of the required property for the user, right? Okay, if you are if we are using some hard disk and all, so okay, so maybe some crash or some crashes happen at the moment of maybe a physical crash or something, some electrical, because of the electrical shock and all, it got damaged. But but it is not meaning that the external, what is called, the physical it was damaged, but it should not get damaged based on the data it is holding. Okay, the data has not to be damaged or nothing but of it should not be lost. Okay, you should have a backup plan for whenever we wanted to retrieve the data. Okay, you should provide them backup for our data, whatever maybe the some consequences may happen for its damage and all. Okay, so all these are properties, right? Okay, property means basic required properties. Okay, so all these properties are discussed in this properties of database, which are called acid properties. Okay, where A is called as atomicity. Atomicity. Okay, C is defined for, okay, C is defined for consistency. Okay, and I is for isolation, and for last one D, it is for so durability. Was durability, right? Okay, so we will actually in the last class we have made a small discussion about these properties. So in today's class we will have some deep discussion about these topics. So what is atomicity? Okay, nothing but of the database which we are taking, which we have taken or which we have chosen, has to be perform atomic, it perform the operations automatically. Okay, so I will explain with this with an example. So for example, there are two bank accounts which are interlinked to each other. Okay, so one bank account is only for depositing of money, and other bank account which was interlinked with the first account is only for withdrawal of money. Okay, so when the bank b when the account b is, the first account is, we will name the first account as A and second account as B. So when the B account will starts working, whenever A account is having some sufficient number of funds. Okay, if A account is having 1000 rupees means, then only I can so withdraw from the B account using of okay, using of B account I can withdraw 1000 rupees. If the A account is not having any funds means, so B account is should not allow us to withdraw money. Why? Because it was interlinked to each other. Okay, so that means so whenever the A account is debited with the some sum of money, A account is debited with some sum of money, then automatically the B account has to get activated, right, for the withdrawal, right? If the A account is debited with some 10,000 rupees of money, then automatically B account has to so start its operation, or it should be available to withdraw money from that account because it was interlinked account and all. Okay, if the okay, it was a scenario, it is a positive scenario. We will discuss about negative scenario. If the debiting process of debiting process inside a account is so not successful, that means A account is not debited with lump sum of the sufficient amount of funds. Okay, it's okay, it was for us debit and for bank it was credit. Okay, so that means so that debiting process is failed in bank account number A, then automatically the account number B has to stop the property of deposital, right? Should not be here because whenever the A account is having funds, then only B account has to so perform its operation of withdrawal. That means here the database has to manage well that it should manage well that automatically it should have isolate to each other, okay, because it was interlinked and all, okay. Whenever only the only one file A is having data, then only the file B can so revoke the data. Whenever the file A is not provided with any kind of data, the file B should not allowed to revoke the data, right? So in this atomicity, so if one account is uh, provided with a sufficient requirement, then only it should allow or it should automatically allow B to provide the data. So if the A account is not provided with sufficient amount of requirements, then the B account or the B file should not allow us to so take or revoke the data from that B account, because so in this format the database has to respond automatically. It should respond automatically for the user actions when it was so interlinked, nothing but of when it was collected with the relational format in the relational database. So clear about this first part, atomicity. Okay, so it should respond based on the user actions, based automatically, nothing but of automatically should respond. So we can explain this same scenario in a external storage devices also. Okay, so we have just now we have explained about, we have discussed about the some pen drive or hard disk example. Okay, so we have bought a pen drive which is of 32 GB memory allocated. Okay, so we have chipped in all the data which is waiting about 10 GB. Okay, 10 GB of data is been chipped into that pen drive which is of 32 GB storage. Okay, so how much available memory it should display for us? Okay, 22. Okay, so we will speak randomly. It was 22. 22 GB of data is available for us to make our operations. So it should is it retrieving automatically? It is evaluating itself. It is evaluating itself. It is evaluating. So I have allocated this kind of this sort of memory, and it is this sort of memory is available for you to make your operations. Okay, so whenever you have okay, so in the same scenario, so whenever you have deleted some 5 GB of data from that same memory card, okay, that means already allocated data is revoked. That means so what the pen drive has to show, so with 12 plus 5 it should show 17 GB as a available memory. That means the allocated memory it should be revoked, and the allocated memory is revoked and offered to the available memory. That means okay, sorry, it should perform this operation, okay, in automatically, right? Other or any user is forcing it, or any user is writing some code to so make it possible for every time, for every of his actions, it is performing automatically. In the same format the database also has to perform automatically based on the user actions and all. So are you clear about this atomicity? Okay, then so let's discuss about consistency.
Yes.
So what is
Hello.
yeah, okay, so ask Andy.
Yes,
Hello.
atomicity అంటే అంటే బ్రీఫ్ అంటే ఏంటి అటామిసిటీ అంటే బేసిక్ గా
Nothing but of automatic అండి. Okay, okay, so consistency. So what is consistency? So can anyone spell what is consistency? Okay, please come again. Remains same all the time. Okay,
యూనిక్
maybe it was a it was okay, maybe it was good in some literature format of, but coming to the database format, database language and all, so the consistency means the proper alignment or proper management. Okay, consistency means so for example, so let's discuss about an example regarding bank database. Okay, so in a particular bank, a bank named XYZ, so there are 1 lakh of bank accounts, right? There are 1 lakh of bank account customers are there, 1 lakh customers are there in a XYZ bank named bank. Okay, so and every customer is allocated with some account number. It was allocated with some account number. Okay, so whether okay, so all the 1 lakh accounts are unique, or so they may have duplicates. Why it should be unique? Where every individual should have his unique account numbers. Why? Because so there should not be any miscommunication or
డూప్లికేట్
mishandling of data. Okay, so if the bank is allowing us to make duplicate accounts for n number of people, what is the result? what would be the result? So either malfunction may happen, or either miscommunication may happen. Okay, so we cannot spell the malfunction. Okay, we can only say miscommunication. Because for example, a person A is there, person B is there, person C is there. Okay, both person B and C got same bank account numbers. So B have deposited a 1 lakh of rupees on 1 lakh sum of rupees on his bank account. Okay, so C is also having the same bank account number. So it was allocated same bank account number instead of providing unique number. Okay, so then whenever C went to the ATM and checking his balance means, so he will have the same balance account which B is having, right? Because so he may not have deposited one penny into his bank account C, but B have deposited 1 lakh of rupees. But C bank account is showing 1 lakh of available memory and nothing but available balance. So he can withdraw it, right? He can withdraw it. So then the some so miscommunications happen, right? Actually, so A is a different individual and B is a C, sorry, B is a different individual and C is a different individual. So there is no interlink or no relation between them, but the misfunction has happened where there is a so allocating of duplicate accounts to each other. Okay, so this may cause a series of miscommunication, and also it may raise a so serious what we call malfunctionality, nothing but okay malfunctionality. We cannot spell the malfunctionality. The correct word is so there is some economical disturbance may happen for the bank auditor. Yeah, for security. So it can't come under security, madam. Nothing but of miscommunication only. So consistency of miscommunication only. So further thing, for all the transactions or for all the so account holders who are the part of the bank, so there has to be some unique identity codes, nothing but of account numbers. So for that you can identify. So no bank account is same. Either it may be the it may change the bank account bank names also. So no account numbers are same. Okay, each and every account number is unique to units unique to each other, unique for each other. Clear? Okay, that means so in the same format, in the same what was the example we have discussed, in the same scenario in a database, every entry that we are making has to be in a unique address, has to be in a unique address. Okay, other if it is not stored in a unique address means the data may get collide, right? Okay, the data may get collide. So whenever we are calling, so that kind of so that address with the whenever we are calling the data regarding that address, so we may get another kind of data which is not expected by the user. So definitely we get irritated, or we may get so discuss it with that application, right? Okay, so in order to properly revoke the data, the entry of the data has also be would be unique. It should be assigned, or it should be allocated in a unique format way with the help of uniquely so with the help of unique address locations. Okay, so every data has to be managed well. So this is it a necessary property for any database? Do you feel it is necessary? Why? When it is not happening, so a serious miscommunication may happen, and a serious so transfer of data is mishandled over there, right? So for that thing, so the database which we are choosing also should have the property of this consistency too. It should be consistent to each other. Clear? So are you clear about the consistency? Then let's discuss about isolation. So what is isolation? Responding over to the treatment in general way. If it was a hospital, so we will have three types of wards over there. One is isolation ward, one is ICU, one is mortuary. Okay, so isolation means so if the patient is responding to the doctor's treatment, so he will be kept in isolation ward. Okay, that means for every treatment the doctor is treating, so his body is responding and nothing but of his illness is getting cured, so he is kept in isolation. So then what is ICU means? So nothing but of so he may not respond to the treatment of the doctors. Okay, that means so he is not in a proper order, right? Next, what is called his body or his physique is not respond to the treatment of so not respond to the treatments. Okay, he was kept in ICU. Okay, but there is a chance of responding also, right, in ICU care. Okay, ICU లో చనిపోయినట్టు కాదు కదండి. It is not that he won't respond at all. He may respond, but at this point of time he is not responding. Okay, then what is mortuary means? So he won't at all respond for any kind of treatments or any kind of operations and all. Okay, so in the it's a generalized quotation. So then what is isolation in database means? Okay, So it's the data has to be respond for the user actions, and nothing but of server requests. Okay, so whenever we are asking a particular pinpointed data, the data has to be respond perfectly. It should go to the exact location where that particular data is stored inside that database, and it should revoke all the data from that database, and it should offer to the user. Okay, so based on the responses from the users, the database has to provide all the necessary information or necessary data to the server. Clear? So it should, the database has to respond based on the user action, nothing but of user action, nothing but of, as user is not directly linked with the database, so user is interlinked with the server, then server is linked with the database. So for whenever the user is raised a request, it was raised by the server to the database. Okay, then according to the server's request, it should send the response. Okay, it should be isolated overall, should isolated overall. That means so responding towards the user actions is the main property of isolation. Is it a necessary property for any database? Do you feel it is necessary? Right? Is it necessary? Right? So for that thing, isolation is also a one of the important property of database. Are you clear about this? So then the next one is it is of durability. What is durability? What is durability? Can anyone tell what is durability? Anything you can.
Duration.
In general, you can answer. So what is durability?
Duration.
Duration. Okay, duration is one of the correct answer, but it's not a correct exact one. What is durability means? So I will explain. Okay, so before whenever we are before discussing about this all these properties, I have stated an example. Nothing but of I have made a common properties. I have asked common properties from you. So in that thing, you have mentioned one thing that we should revoke the data, and nothing but of we should restore the data from data devices. Restoration of data, right? For example, nowadays we are using smartphones. Okay, where there is no requirement for external storage, so as smartphones are providing internal storage which is sufficient for us. Okay, so whenever we lost a phone, not lost means some physical damage or software damage, there is a possibility of restoring data, right? Is there a possibility? So if that property is not there, what would be the scenario? Data will be lost. If it was personal data, it was okay. If it was the data related to the a large company, MNC company, so lot of loss. There may be chances of shutting over the company too. Okay, so that the main property among these four properties. So the major and 100 okay, if we wanted to give so percentage of importance, so among these four properties, so 50% of importance is given for this durability. If you wanted to give 100% preferences among these four properties, so out of 100, out of these four, so durability property is given 50% of its preference. Why? Because so the restoration of data, or so providing a backup for the data is very important. Nothing but of restoration of lost data is very important. So just because we lose a phone, we may lose many type of data. We may lose some our personal photos, or we may lose some important contacts, and or we may lose some many other things, many other details and all. Okay, as an individual, it is somewhat lost to us. It is somewhat thinkable loss. Definitely it was thinkable loss, right? So losing a phone is definitely thinkable loss, right? I was not asking discussing about the amount cost of the phone. I was discussing only about the data. Okay, we may have the photos of our childhood friends, or we may have the photos of which was taken in our colleges and all. Okay, it is can't yeah, it can't be taken again, because we cannot create that moments again. Okay, we store them in a photos format, that moments, that cute moments and all. Okay, maybe in a farewell, or maybe in a anniversary and something else. Okay, as a single individual, it is somewhat noticeable loss whenever we lost some data. But uh, as a single individual, we are suffering this kind of thing. But whenever it comes to the company, so how much quantity of data it is handling? Huge quantity of data. If it was MNC, so there is for example, Amazon is having the database in a separate island. Okay, so that quantity of data is handling by the Amazon. So if the entire data in Amazon is lost means, so is it possible to rebuild that data? Is it possible to so collect the data and again restore the data? Not, I was not asking about restoration. So reallocation and recollection, is it possible? It's not at all possible, right? It is possible, but it may take some decades of time, or it may take some series of millions of or trillions of amount of okay. So money has to be invested for research of all this data. Okay, so for that thing, the major property or the major property of any database, not only database, even a small data storing device has also the also has to has that property of durability. That means so whatever maybe happen to the database nothing but of a container. It's a physical device or a software application. Whatever it may be happen to the database, but data has not to be lost. You should have a backup plan, or you should have a restoration so feature for that thing. Okay, so if the feature is not available, then the data is base is not at all useful. Okay, so as database is not a that secure thing, or that's that so god given vessel. Okay, there is no chance of breaking of database, or there is no chance of crashing of database. But so you can easily crash the database. Okay, nothing but of using of hacking, you can see, right? So many bank accounts are many MNC companies are getting hacked. So what is the hacking of a company means? Nothing but of hacking of database. Hacking of database is the major thing of hacking. What is the hacking means? So hackers directly concentrate on database. If data is not working, no application is gonna work. Okay, so database is that much important. So definitely any person can easily uh, hack the data, or so the data can be easily destroyed. Nothing but of database can easily be destroyed. But even though database got destroyed, the data inside the stored inside the database should not get affected. You should have all the plan B's, and you should have all the properties for restoration of data, or all the features which allows the client to restore his data from that database. Okay, so after hearing all these explanation, so do you think which property is more important for database? It is durability. So it is, if it was not making automatically means manually we can make operations. If it is not consistency means, so we can appoint a person for making it consistent. Nothing but of so for checking, nothing but of for third party checking, we can appoint a person and make him the database has, or nothing but of make him to happen the transactions consistent, database consistent. Or if it is not isolating means, so we can appoint a set of teams for its isolation. But so we cannot so make a persons, or we cannot make a database to get restore all the data when it was crashed or when it was physically damaged and all. Okay, so you should have that property, strong property. So to strong property of restoration of data and all. So clear. So this is all about the is all are the properties of so database. Okay, I will after the end of the class I will present the definitional format for this automation. Okay, it will take, so whenever when I was asked to type, it will take some lots of time. Okay, some few minutes of time. I don't think it's reliable. After the class I will share the class this definitional format in a group. Okay, so are you clear about this properties of acid properties? Okay, so this is all about the acid this is all about the properties of a database, the must properties of any database. Okay guys, so then after this we will move to the SQL, right? Okay, Oracle SQL. So what is SQL? Okay, so SQL is one of the database which is uh, okay, which is developed by the Oracle organization. That's why it was called Oracle. Okay, it was developed by the Oracle organization SQL. So what is SQL means? So structured query language. Query structured query language. So what is structured query language means? So we write queries, nothing but of commands. Queries nothing but of a command. So we write commands for the database, nothing but of to handle the data or to manage the data. So SQL supports the RDBMS. SQL supports RDBMS. Okay, RDBMS. RDBMS means Relational Database Management System. That means inside SQL database, so all the type of data is stored in a format of table format. In a tabular, okay, all the data is stored in the format of tables, nothing but of tabular format of data. Okay, as it was RDBMSs, so it allows that a number of tables to get interlinked or related to each other. Nothing but of so creation of relation between each table. Sorry, creation of relation between each table and all. Okay, using of this RDBMS as it supports the RDBMS concept, so it's generate a relation between a number of tables. Okay, so this is all the basic feature of SQL. Okay, SQL is structured query language. It was developed by the Oracle organization, and it supports RDBMS. So inside SQL, so the data is stored in the format of tables. So as it supports the RDBMS concept, so each and every table, so we can create a relationship between each and every table inside a SQL. So clear? Okay, guys. So then, so what is query? What is query? So there is a word mentioned here, right? Structured query language means so query is nothing but a command.
Query spelling wrong.
Hello. So what was your question, Andy?
Query,
Hello.
query spelling wrong.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I missed R. Huh? Okay. So okay, I was not somewhat poor in spelling, so you need to adjust for it. Okay, so it is a command given for database for making, so either for addition of data operations or revoking of data operations. It's a command for making data entry and data revoking operations inside a database in inside a database, guys. Okay, nothing but of so what is query is nothing but of a statement. It is a condition, nothing but of it's a condition. So using of this queries may have creating queries. Okay, so adding of data queries or revoking queries or deleting queries, and okay, so a number of queries is there based on the type of language we select. Okay, there is some DDL, okay, DCL, TCL, okay, DML. So okay, so we will have this kind of languages, so which is uh, for some portion of data, either for entry of data or for deletion of data or for making alteration inside the data. Okay, clear, guys? So this will be discussed on the next classes. So for today, it was something introduction about the so SQL. So SQL is structured query language, which was developed by the Oracle organization. So as it supports the RDBMS, and it supports the data inside a SQL is stored in the format of tables. Okay, so as it supports the RDBMS, we can create a relation between so different tables. And so writing of queries inside a SQL, so we can command the database to either for addition of data or for removal of data or for revoking of data. Okay, then what is table? So we should also discuss about tables, right? A table is a combination of combo of rows and columns. Rows and columns. So in the last class I said, what is a row? A row is a record. And what is a column? Okay, it is a field.
Feed.
Okay, so then what is record and what is field? So a record is a, okay, so it is a entire data regarding a particular entity or a particular individual or a thing or a particular what is called individual thing ఇంకేముంటాయి అందులో entity. Okay, entity అందం entity అని సరిపోతుంది. So record is nothing but of so the combination of data for a particular entity. Then what is field means? So it is a specific data of different entities, a specific data of different entities. Okay, so in this if you wanna somewhat example ways of explanation of this rows and columns means so same example of mark sheet. Okay, where you people 10 people are there for a class, so your marks are displayed. Okay, so roll number 1, so roll number 1 row, 2 row, 3 row, and up to 10 rows. So whenever so my number is 4 and I will go for the row number 4. So in row number 4, all the data related to the row number 4 is given, right? Nothing but of a person whose identity is 104. Okay, all the data related to 104 is given that in that row, right? That's why it was called as record. Record of a particular individual or particular entity. Then what is field? So in a, for example, for our semester, we may have so Telugu, English, Hindi. We will discuss about school. Okay. So Telugu, English, Hindi, math, science, and physics, social. Andera? Okay. Physics and science note kada. Math, science, and social. So in when it was a school report card or school notice board mark list displaying. Okay, a column means so for example English column is there. There only the data related to the English marks of different entities or different students are presented. That's why it was called as a field. It is a individual field for a number of entities. Okay, that's what about this rows and columns, guys. Okay, so I think is it over? Okay, time is up. Okay, so we will discuss few more things in the next class. What is cell? What is entity? And the next in the next class we will discuss about the so what are the type of data we are having, the amount of data types we are having in SQL. Okay, so maybe in the next class means it was in Monday, right? In Monday class we will discuss about what are the types of data we are having, the amount of data types in SQL. And after if it is completed, then we'll discuss about the so commanding language in SQL. Okay, so this is about today's class, Andy. So have you understood today's class clearly? Is it clear today when compared to the last class? Okay, is it clear?
Yes,
Okay, is it
sir.
so easy to okay, so please ask, Andy.
Yes, sir.
So
Sir, can you,
hello,
yes, sir.
so
It
I
is
didn't
okay,
get.
sir.
Okay, okay, is this way of flow is okay, comfortable for you? It's not okay. So okay is not enough, it should be comfortable. Is it comfortable for you?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
okay, then okay, if possible I will make somewhat little bit slower down. Okay, okay, then little bit slower down and all. Okay, I will make myself comfortable and I
Sir,
will make yourself comfortable in the course and all. Okay, guys, so
sir,
are you having
upcoming
any
class,
questions in
sir.
today's class? చెప్పండి, చెప్పండి.
సార్ అప్కమింగ్ క్లాసెస్ లో అది అంటే కోర్ కాన్సెప్ట్ అదే కొన్ని ఉంటాయి కదా సార్ అంటే కొన్ని కోర్ ఉంటాయి కదా సార్ అంటే ఎస్క్యూఎల్ లో కాన్సెప్ట్స్
అవునండి,
అవి
అవునండి.
మీరు బైరింగ్ లో చెప్పండి సార్ అదే ఇంగ్లీష్ మీద తెలుగు కూడా చెప్పండి అంటే కొంచెం అంటే మళ్ళీ అంటే ఇప్పుడైతే ఇదైతే ఓకే సార్ ఇదైతే బాగా అర్థం ఎందుకంటే ఆల్రెడీ విన్నదే కాబట్టి ప్రాబ్లం లేదు కొత్త కాన్సెప్ట్స్
ఓకే,
వచ్చినప్పుడు రెండింటి చెప్పండి. Yes.
ఓకే అండి. సో యాక్చువల్లీ వాట్ ద థింగ్ ఈజ్ దట్ ఈ మొత్తం ఈ క్లాస్ మొత్తం అంతా కూడా ఇంగ్లీష్ లో చెప్పమని నాకు ఆర్డర్ వచ్చిందండి. సో నేను డిస్కస్ చేస్తాను. ఓకే, సో ఓకే, ఓకే, మీకు ఒక కాన్సెప్ట్ ఇంగ్లీష్ లో అర్థం కాకపోతే కనుక సో పర్సనల్ గా సరే నేను మీకు మళ్ళీ చెప్తానండి. ఓకేనా? సో ఒక పర్మిషన్ తీసుకుని నేను మళ్ళీ చెప్తానండి. ఓకేనా? పర్మిషన్ సెన్స్ ఒక మీకోసం తెలుగులో చెప్తున్నానని చెప్పి సో డెఫినెట్లీగా మీకు అర్థం కాకపోతే తెలుగులో కూడా చెప్పడానికి ట్రై చేస్తాను. ఓకేనా? సో అట్ ద ఎండ్ ఆఫ్ క్లాస్
ఓకే.
ఖచ్చితంగా మీకు ఎట్ ద ఎండ్ ఆఫ్ క్లాస్ మీకు ఖచ్చితంగా కంటెంట్ అనేది మీకు డెలివరీ చేయడానికి ట్రై చేస్తాను. ఓకే,
ఓకే సార్.
okay, and then thank you for attending for today's class, Andy. So we will pause this class for today and we will continue in the next class.